If your team got guaranteed money, tell them call me.
Whoop. Make me say, my. I done been around the world.
Yeah, I was made for this.
Player Performance with J.A. Cavalier.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to MLB Player Performance, the morning show, August the 6th, 2025. It is Wednesday morning. We will be giving you guys the full breakdown in as best of detail as we are capable of. Luke is off today. He'll be on tomorrow in full for Thursday. We are here. It's Wednesday morning. The Shark and the Gunz Picks. What's going on, brother?
Yeah, baby. We got a beautiful matinee card here. We are back once again. Gonna be knocking this out. Hopefully give you the plays to pay the bills. We're doing this the night before. This is a pre-record, but we still have the lines. We still have the pitching matchups in most of the games anyways. And some sharp looks. So please, if you're watching this video now, watching it later, please hit the like button and get to the comment section. Drop a few comments as well. Shark, let's get to the card.
Absolutely. A great conversation to ensue. The Wednesday edition, MLB Player Performance, starts now.
I live the bright lights, the type, the crowd lights, where you at, ballers? Ladies love me and men, they want to be, they pay to come see me, where you at, ballers?
Wednesdays are for winning. First game on the card, Interleague Baseball, 12:35, Orioles, Phillies in Philadelphia. Trevor Rogers on the road at Rangers Suarez. Very interesting pitching matchup here. We've talked about Rangers Suarez time and time again on this show. Haven't touched on Rogers as much as I would have liked to. He's running a great campaign. I think this is a really nice spot to buy the Orioles early. Gunz, any thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with you on this one. If I had to lead one way or the other, I think we're doing the Baltimore side on this one because Trevor Rogers has really been a solid pitcher for the Orioles. 6-3 straight up into the under in all his starts this year. He's also 4-2 straight up into the under on the road. So he pitches pretty good on the road as well. 6-1 of the run line in Rogers starts this season overall, too. If you're looking at run line type of scenarios here, and you can get some good value knowing that Suarez is going to be on the mound. Also, it's, you think it's going to be mostly a team effort on this one, but Rogers in that first 5 inning windows versus non-divisional opponents, he's 4-1-1 in first 5. So Rogers has been the one dealing more than the rest of his team. And then you got Rangers Suarez. Rangers Suarez, if you look at his whole entire resume for the year, he's pitched pretty good. His numbers are exceptional. However, lately, he's kind of had a little bit of a dip, a little bit of a drop-off. He's 2-2 straight up and 1-3 in first 5s and 3-1 to the over in hhis last 4 games. 3 of those opponents were AL teams, too, by the way. Then you got to look at Philly, 4-3 straight up into the run line in Suarez starts as a favorite of -150 or more, but he's lost his last 2 spots. So that's what I mean. This guy may be dropping off a little bit. So I think there's an opportunity to split this in half and take a little bit of a conservative route. I think this is a lean in one direction or the other. I wouldn't mind you taking the first 5 on this one, go pitcher for pitcher, Rogers versus Suarez. But I also think on the run line is kind of got some validity to it too. So I think Baltimore on the run line is a good play. And also the run line in the first 5s, if you can get a good number on that one, I think that's got some weight to it as well.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree. We'll give you guys a free play here. We're going to give you the money line. I think the +1.5 is a little overpriced here. It's sitting at -160 in a lot of markets. Money line, as we're currently recording here, you can actually get Baltimore at +140, and that is to avoid the sweep as far as we know. And we've seen Baltimore do this time and time again this year. Of course, not running a great campaign like the last 2 years, but they do play well if they're finding urgency to not get swept. You saw it recently. It was a matinee at Cleveland last week. It was a 4-game series. They lost the first 3, looked useless. All of a sudden, here we are. Big clubhouse vibes, no sweep. I think you're going to see it. And as you mentioned, Rogers has performed great on the road this year. This is not the guy you saw in Miami at all. Only 8 earned runs on the road in 34 2/3 innings pitched. I was watching him pitch last week at Chicago, a tough Wrigley environment. He was in complete control, and he is actually 2-1 straight up in road matinees last 3, all as an underdog. Gunz was talking about it. We've talked about it before. Suarez is just a heady pitcher. He's actually very talented. He has high upside. He's a crafty lefty, but you don't want to buy him if the environment is off grid, as we call it. This is Wednesday afternoon. This is off a big win against Detroit in his last game. Only time this season Suarez won a home game, stayed at home. He did lose the next game. And final point, only home matinee against an American League opponent this year was against the Angels on Sunday coming out of the All-Star break. On this exact show, I told you Jose Soriano is going to beat Ranger Suarez. Same line structure. I'll tell you here. Rogers will beat Suarez this afternoon. Take the Orioles money line and let's cash. Keeping it moving. Next game on the card, also 12:35 p.m. Pittsburgh hosting San Francisco. Not interleague, however, out of division. Robbie Ray at Andrew Heaney. We made a lot of jokes this season about some of these pitchers, Savale, Lauer, Hauser. They can't sit still. They get traded every year. Well, here's our next guy, Andrew Heaney. Every single year, a new team. This is a tough spot for Heaney. I think this leans towards Robbie Ray and the Giants. Gunz, any thoughts?
I think I'm going to be on the other side, but I'm going to take it a little bit more conservative approach. I think you can get some good value here on the run line with Pittsburgh. You look at Robbie Ray. Robbie Ray is 3-4 in his last 7 starts, 5-2 to the under. So he's kind of the San Francisco Giants have really not shown up for him, even though San Francisco is 8-3 straight up in Ray's last 11 road starts, but 3-3 in his last 6. So he's kind of been a coin flip on the road, at least in his last 6 road starts. He's also 3-0 to the run line and to the money line versus the NL Central teams, and he's going against an NL Central team, and Andrew Heaney's going to be on the mound. Pittsburgh is 2-6 in his last 8 starts, 9-0 to the under though in his last 9 home starts, 4-1 straight up in his last 5 home starts. So somehow, some way, this Pittsburgh team does show up for Heaney in home situations. Then Pittsburgh is 5-1 to the run line, 4-2 straight up, and 5-1 to the under in Heaney's home starts as a dog of plus 150 or less. What you have in this situation, him as a short dog. San Francisco is already 0-4 going into this game, of course, maybe 1-4 as we're recording this during a San Francisco and Pittsburgh game. So maybe 1-4. They got the big lead right now. So 1-4 in their last 5 versus Pittsburgh already. Maybe look at a little bit of a coin flip on the other side, at least a pendulum swing to the other side, I should say. I think on the run line has got some validity. Give me Pittsburgh plus a 1.5, full game. Trust in Heaney.
I think you're the first person in the history of baseball talk that's ever said trust in Heaney.
I looked up when I did that too. Did you see that? I went, oh God, I just said that. I think that's like a hubcap on a tractor. No one's even seen it.
I'm sitting here as a Yankee fan, having watched Heaney play for the Red Sox, basically give up 5 home runs per game in Yankee Stadium a few years ago.
He's got good home numbers. I can't deny him. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, I'm not going to talk you off it. I don't love laying minus 170 with the Giants in this position. And if you guys remember, coming out of spring training, the Giants were not projected to be a playoff team. They have some high upside players, obviously Willie Adames, Chapman, obviously Robbie Ray heading the staff. He has been good on the road, however. 8-3 straight up, not margin though. So I think plus 1.5 does have access. Last 2 games road outside of the division within the National League at Washington, also a matinee, Sunday, May 25th. Did win 3-2, no run support at Michael Soroka before he was traded. And most recently, a 1-0 loss, also a matinee, Saturday, May 31st at Miami. Edward Cabrera, Marlins 1-0. I think this is going to be a low-scoring game. I think Heaney does perform reasonably well here. I think plus 1.5 is a sharp side. You're probably looking at a 1-run game. The gun likes plus 1.5. Trust in Heaney this afternoon, people, and let's cash. Next game on the card, 1:10 MLB Network, first national game, Guardians-Mets getaway game here on Wednesday afternoon. Very interesting dynamic here. You see a big line, minus 200, David Peterson, all-star this year, Gavin Williams on the road. These 2 pitchers could not be more polarized within this environment. This is Peterson home by. This is a fade of Williams on the road. I haven't gotten there yet. It's very pricey, 2-1 in the market. Gunz, any thoughts?
Yeah, it's I see minus 178 here on FanDuel currently as we're doing this. But Gavin Williams, yeah, you're right. They just haven't shown up for him as a pitcher. Maybe he hasn't shown up himself. He's 3-7 straight up in his last 10 starts, 0-5 straight up in his last 5 road starts, and 0-5 last 5 as the dog. It's just 0 for when you're dealing with Williams. On the other side, though, Peterson, if there's any indication or any time to back Peterson, it's at home. He's 10-1 straight up in his last 11 home games. He's 8-2-1 to the under in his last 11 home starts. Also, you got to look at the Mets 6-1 straight up and 5-2 to the under when Peterson starts as a favorite of -150 or more, which you have in this situation. Now, it's a little bit too juicy for me to take the money line, and the run line for that matter. You can go that route. It's a little bit dicey though. Peterson, for some reason, seems to only win when he's up a run or something like that, because the run line usually doesn't hit when he's the favorite, especially as a high favorite like this. I do like the total on this one because I think both pitchers do lean or at least trend towards the under in this type of line structure. So the way I'm going to play this is the under. So Cleveland, New York Mets under the total 8 is the way I'd go.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree. Peterson only has one home game this year against an American League team. It was Toronto. Also a matinee, so good for this handicap. Sunday, April 6th, very early within the season. I was facing Bowden Francis. For those of you guys who follow the Blue Jays, I believe he's not even in the rotation anymore. But that game still stayed under 2-1. So that definitely agrees with the gun in terms of this handicap on the total. As I mentioned, these pitchers really are just a buy and a sell without any middle ground here. Peterson is 5-0 last 5 at home against American League opponents, and Gavin Williams is 0-5 last 5 on the road against National League opponents. Again, we don't love laying a huge figure here. I don't see the Guardians winning this game, however. Gone on the under. I'm figuring out a way to get to the Mets. Have the Mets as we speak. We'll see what happens. We love you guys for tuning in with us. Take the Mets in this game, and let's cash. Next game on the card, divisional baseball, Twins-Tigers, Comerica Park, Detroit, Michigan. We're looking at a pitching matchup here that I believe has just been finalized. Jack Flaherty hosting Simeon Woods-Richardson. A lot of data here. I can't say I love the data, however. Jack Flaherty is very inconsistent. He's 5-7 straight up at home. He's 1-1 in the division. He beat the White Sox as a huge favorite, which is not really telling us a whole lot. He got crushed at home on a Thursday against the Cleveland Guardians 7-0. I honestly can't figure this game out, and it is centered on the inconsistency of Flaherty. Gunz, have you figured anything out?
I think Flaherty's got some momentum turnaround, at least in his last 3 or 4 starts. You're starting to see him pitch well, but like you said, Shark, sometimes he'll have like 2 or 3 good outings, and then he'll get shelled for 6 or 7 runs. It's like that's kind of what Flaherty's been all season long. And Detroit's bats have never shown up for him either. That doesn't help him. 2-7 straight up in his last 9 starts, even though he pitched well in his last 2 starts. I think he got 1 W out of that one. I think at first 5s, he's done very well, especially in his last 7 home starts. He's 4-2-1 in those situations. It's going against Wood Richardson, of course. We didn't have the line before we recorded the show. Don't really have a lot of data other than we knew Flaherty was going to be the starter. We didn't know who Minnesota was going to be. Now it's Wood Richardson, possibly. I'm not even seeing the lineup. So is that going to be the case by the time this thing is at first pitch? We will see. But I have nothing on this game.
Yeah, the last thing I'll say is Flaherty has not faced Minnesota this year. Last year, he did pitch reasonably well. He did go 2-0 straight up against the Twins. 1 at home, 1 on the road. If you guys remember last year, Flaherty actually started the season with Detroit, traded to the Dodgers for the postseason run, and then re-signed with Detroit in the offseason. In those 2 games, 12 1/3 innings pitched, 10 hits, 3 walks, so right around a 1.0 whip, pretty solid, 5 earned runs. Truly, when you have a 1.0 whip, you shouldn't be giving up 5 earned runs in only 12 innings. So he actually should improve theoretically in this matchup. We're looking at it here, obviously, early. I think Detroit probably is the side here. Not a lot of data, looking towards Detroit, and we will keep it moving. Next game on the card, 2:20 Eastern. That is 1:20 in Chicago, Wrigleyville. Looking at a divisional game here, Reds at Cubs. Very interesting game. We love divisional games. We love data. This gives us a lot of data. Andrew Abbott at Cade Horton. Cade Horton, first campaign, rookie season. Andrew Abbott, 3rd time facing the Cubs this year, has been very effective. Gunz, we have information in this. We were talking about it before the show. We definitely like this game. Looking towards the under in the market.
I think that's the best look on this one because it really kind of fits both pitchers from a trend perspective. But there's also previous matchup data that we can really utilize in this situation because you look at Abbott. Abbott's faced Chicago Cubs twice this season, 2-0 straight up in those spots. Both were against Colin Ria. Last meeting, he was a plus 141 dog in that situation, won the game 6-2 and basically shut them out in a 5-inning window stretch. Shorter dog here, both games in the home and away splits on that one. The total was 9. Now you're seeing 8s on the board here. And with Cade Horton's been an under pitcher. He's 4-1 to the under in his last 5 starts, including not giving up a run in 4 of those. Then you got Chicago Cubs 5-2 straight up and 5-0-2 in first 5s with Horton home starts. So I know Abbott's been like one of those pitchers that you want to back in the market because he's 9-4 straight up in his last 13 starts. But going against Cade Horton, I would stay away from the side completely. But in the total perspective, I think we're looking at a little bit of a pitcher's duel. Chicago's also 5-1 to the under, and Horton starts when he's a favorite of minus 150 or less, which he is in this situation. I think it's going to be a low-scoring affair between these two pitchers in a matinee travel day after this game, I believe. So, yeah, Cincinnati, Chicago Cubs, under 8 is the way I would play this game.
Yeah, I would agree. And I was actually watching Horton pitch last week at home. And after the game, I was watching Marquee Network. Shout out to you guys in Chicago. They were interviewing him. And he was talking about how he's getting more comfortable. You know, he's a rookie. It takes time. And just the big leagues are just such a different level. Of course, that's why they call it the show, because it really is. Huge gap. But he is very comfortable. He's 5-2 versus the home under. And I think more importantly, in terms of the line, both overs at home came against American League opponents, White Sox and Mariners. The total line in both of those games were extremely high, 11.5 and 12.5. And one thing that we love, the shark in the gun here, I think more than almost any other handicappers on the planet, book lines. What is the line telling us? So when the big lines were high, it went over. Books were aware of the market. Now you're looking at an under. Definitely an under this afternoon. Take it. And Gunz looking like he's got something else to say.
No, because like you just said, 2 big lines. What's the strategy when you're playing a Wrigley over or under? Is the total double digits or is it low? It's like when you have a double digits, that means that wind's pushing out and we're going to be seeing some balls fly over the fence. That's kind of how it works. But you just picked 2 lines there that were 10 and 11.5. I'm like, duh, it's Wrigley. When it's a high total like that, it's going to go over.
No, absolutely. And just one final point on that. Those pitchers, it was Shane Smith for the White Sox, a young pitcher who struggled on the road, and Emerson Hancock for Seattle Saturday, June 21st. Emerson Hancock is an absolute bullpen pitcher on the road. So this is Andrew Abbott. He threw a complete game shutout on the road this year already. He pitched well at Wrigley in his only environment against Colin Ray, as Gunz mentioned. Only 1 hit in 7 innings back on Friday, May 30th. Great under in this game. We got data. It's divisional. Let's take the under and let's cash. Next game on the card, Yankees Rangers, 2:35 in Texas, Globe Life Field. Carlos Rodon at Mark Leiter. Jack Leiter. I said Mark. How many Leiters are there? Al, Mark, Mark Jr. I mean, this is a family affair. Jack here, second year, is a home pitcher. He's not great on the road. He definitely is much more comfortable at Globe Life. Carlos Rodon, I mean, you would think this guy would be a savior, a stopper for the Yankees who are completely cliff diving. I don't know if that's the case. He has been awful on the road this year. Guys, we talked about it before the show. We're trying to figure it out. Any thoughts?
Oh, you didn't hear? Aaron Judge is back.
Oh.
I mean, listen, let's look at the pitchers here, all right? I mean, Carlos Rodon, you look at his numbers, it's pretty remarkable in a first 5 type of sector. 17-6 in first 5s Rodon starts are, but you check out his win-loss record, it's a very different story. He's 7-5 in first 5s on the road, so most of his losses, at least in the first 5-inning window, is on the road. When you look at his starts, his last 8, New York Yankees are 1-7 in his last 8 starts. That's full game. So he's 17-6 in first 5s. He's 1-7 straight up in full game. He's also 1-7 to the run line and 2-6 straight up in Rodon's road starts as a favorite of minus 160 or less. Then you got Jack Leiter, and like Shark said, he's a home pitcher. 3-1 in his last 4 starts, and he's 5-1 straight up in first 5s in his last 6 starts. Also 6-1 in first 5s in his last 7 home starts. So that, like Shark said, Leonard's another one of those pitchers that seems to be able to keep the lead. And when he walks out and goes into the dugout and he has a successful start, the bullpens tend to blow it for him. Same thing with Rodon. But I think with Leiter, he's just in a stronger position in the first five. He's playing at home. That's where he gets most of his leads, at least in first fives. He's 2-1 as a home dog, by the way, and 10-4 in his 14 starts overall. Where you look at Rodon has some regression in him, at least in first fives on the road. So I think this is a good spot to be taking a first five with the Texas Rangers with Leiter on the mound. Give me Texas Rangers money line first five as a play.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree. As you mentioned, Rodon just looking terrible. He's actually 0-6 last 6 on the road. And I think just a snapshot to the current Yankees, his last road loss, it just kind of encapsulates everything that's going wrong with the Yankees. They were in Miami on Friday night to open August, and they somehow lost the game 13-12. They were up 9-4 in the 7th inning, give up 6 runs, bottom 7, lose the lead, come back, take the lead again in the 9th, go to the bottom of the 9th. It's 12-10 Yankees. Here comes Devin Williams, I believe. Or no, they brought in Octavio Doval, who's like a ex-Giant, horrible pitcher. And the Yankees just completely implode because of an error in right field. So it was Carlos Rodon being sort of pedestrian. His final line in the game was not great. It was a terrible bullpen. It was an error. It was bad acquisitions. And it was just a team that's in complete disarray. This all went wrong in the offseason. Juan Soto just crossed town over to Queens. And then Garrett Cole, reconstructive arm surgery. It's a complete mess. I don't know what to do with the Yankees. I know Yankee fans are probably saying, Shark, you're right. I'm not lying. I don't know what to do with this game. Gunz laughing with the hat. Hey, Gunz, we haven't talked about the Red Sox yet. Here's your chance. Give us some.
I don't know what you guys are doing. Everything's going great over here in Boston, man. I mean, we're fucking, as long as we're playing a home game, we're in good shape. Thanks for losing. Thanks for blowing leads. I appreciate it, Yankees. I hope you don't make the playoffs and you never win another world championship the rest of your life, because we didn't see one for 80 years. You shouldn't see one for 100. So there you go. That's what you get for the Babe Ruth curse.
It's certainly possible, given the way this team is mismanaged. I mean, like, Brian Cashman has not made great moves for years. Boone really is just a lackluster manager. Like, his best moments come when he gets very angry and just snaps at the ump, and it's like this big show. But, like, the actual on-field management, psychologically and analytically, is just not optimal. This team is mid at the highest level. Just stay away from the Yankees going forward. And we will go forward to another game. Next game on the card, Blue Jays Rockies in Coors Field, 3:10, 1:10 Mountain Time. I said it last time we had a matinee. Tap the Rockies. Get those Coors Lights. It's Wednesday afternoon this summer. Hang out in Denver. I think we're going to see a hangout type of game. Kevin Gausman is not the type of pitcher you want to be backing in this spot. He is, in my opinion, he's kind of a bro. You ever watch Kevin Gausman? He's got long hair. He's always chewing gum. He strikes me as the kind of guy that goes in after every half inning and like just smashes a beer. Well, here he is in Colorado. Gausman about to give up 5 early runs, Gunz. I think the over is the best look.
I agree with you on this one. I think the over is the best look, and that would be an official play for the show. Gausman really 5-2 straight up in his last 7 starts. So Toronto's still playing good baseball. So, I mean, he's getting, regardless of how Gausman has really been performing, Toronto's offense has just really been stepping up for him. He's also 5-2 straight up into the run line in his last 7 road starts. Only second time this season, though, that Gausman has been a favorite. Last time he was a favorite on the road was against the Athletics. Guess what? That was a loss. So sometimes when the line is telling you one way, the outcome is different. Also, you got to look at Toronto is at minus 200 plus favorites, which they are in this situation. Gausman pitches 3-3 straight up, 5-1 to the under in those situations is minus 150 or more favorite. He's also 2-4-1 in first fives as a minus 150 or more favorite, which is kind of interesting, knowing that, you think a heavily juiced favorite in Toronto with Gausman on the mound, you think that's an easy dub. Not so fast, my friend. It's a little bit harder than expected. Also, 4-1 to the over in Gausman starts versus the NL. So that's what I'm saying. Overs are the trends with Gausman. Freeland on the other side, though, home pitcher, been pitching pretty good at home. 4-1 in first fives, his last 5 home games. 6-1 to the over in his last 7 home games. Then you got to look at Colorado is 3-1 in first fives and 4-0 to the over in Freeland starts as a home dog of plus 160 or more. You have in this situation. And then, of course, Freeman as a heavy dog all season long, plus 160 or more. There's 8 instances that had happened, 7-1 to the over in those spots. So, like I said, it's overs all day long in Coors Field. Watch the balls fly out of the park. I also like to lean towards the first 5 with Kyle Freeland because I think there is something to go there. Maybe in a 5-inning splits once he gets out of the game. Of course, you know that Colorado bullpen will give up 9 or 10 runs in an inning. So I think that the over is a good look, and the first 5 money line or on the run line in the first 5 would be good too.
No, I wouldn't disagree. And obviously, when I just opened the game, I mean, I'm being serious. Like, I'm not being serious that Kevin Gausman is drinking beers while he's pitching on a professional mound. But he's absolutely the type of pitcher where I talk about this off-grid idea. If it's something that he doesn't see comfortably, middle of the week, foreign stadium, interleague against a really lackluster, uninspiring opponent, it's where he really pitches poorly. We've seen this already this year at home at the Rogers Center. He got absolutely rocked at home against Arizona. It was, again, interleague, middle of the afternoon, and that was in his home stadium. This is Coors Field. I mean, I'm working on it. As we said, we're recording the previous night. That's why the live chat is not running, and we miss you guys as we record this. But the over is absolutely the best look in this game. Gunz officially on it. I might get there. Let's dominate. Next game on the card, we're going to run through these relatively quickly. We do not love the rest of these games, and that is not some sort of cop-out by any stretch. We did handicap these games. They're just difficult. Rays, Angels, another getaway game, 4:07 in Los Angeles. Tyler Anderson versus Shane Baz. Gunz, we were joking before the show. Shane Baz a couple years ago was just a mortal lock. The guy was projected to be a 1A starter. He got injured. He was out for basically, I believe, over a year. And now he's very unpredictable. You talk about this matchup. These teams are very evenly graded. That's why the line is basically a pick 'em. I think this game is very difficult. Could you get anywhere in this game?
No, I can't get anywhere. The problem is with these two pitchers, they're all going through these slumps. Anderson's going through a slump. Baz is going through a slump. I believe, like when I looked at it, Baz had lost his last 6 starts, or at least Tampa had. Tampa's just been a cold team altogether. And the same thing with Anderson. Anderson's been all over the place. I can't even figure out if it's going to be an over or an under. First 5 or full game. Same thing with Baz. He's kind of all over the place. The one consistency is both of these pitchers are fade pitchers. So when you have 2 fade pitchers going up against each other, don't try to force the play. Just move on to the next game. This is just a complete pass for me.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I'm just looking at it as we go down the line here. I don't think Anderson has faced Tampa Bay this year. He home against the American League East. He did lose to the Yankees in a tight one. He did beat Boston in a tight one. It's basically along that line. 3-2 Yankees final and 3-2 Red Sox final. This is going to be a really tight game. It's just a difficult handicap. Stay away from this one unless you're going to the game. Have a beer, enjoy it, and we'll keep it moving.
I'll say one thing too. Baz home played the Angels minus 170 favorite in that game, lost. Now he's like a minus 118 road. Is kind of, it seems like that's kind of like, that's probably what it should be. So yeah, there's nothing that's telling me that's a Tampa spot or even a LA spot. So yeah, you're right.
No, I agree. And I think one final point on this: Tyler Anderson has looked very good at home this year. Definitely not a road pitcher, but recently he's looked worse at home. And this is a snapshot to both pitchers and full teams in really all sports. Obviously, teams, not pitchers in other sports, but oftentimes when teams are really good on the road, it's unsustainable, and then they become good at home, and vice versa. I think that he might struggle here. Baz is very unpredictable. The line is on the Angels, however. So if you guys want to bet it based on the line and line functionality, take the Angels in this game. Next game on the card, national game. This is a doubleheader, MLB Network. Cardinals, Dodgers, also a getaway game. Ohtani starting against Liberatore. This is going to be a tough game. Ohtani basically gets 2 to 4 innings. We don't know how long he's going to go. And then you get the bullpen. And this is not exactly yesteryear's Dodgers bullpen. This is almost a gas can bullpen. Liberatore truly could do anything in this match. He is literally capable of throwing a no-hitter or giving up 8 runs in the first inning. I can't read Liberatore. I would lean towards the Dodgers. The price is pretty obnoxious at minus 200. It's just kind of a neutral projection. Gunz, I think the Dodgers win, but again, it's just garbage at this point.
I mean, how many innings you're going to get out of Ohtani is going to be the deciding factor in this one. I think he pitched like 3 or 4 in his last start, so maybe they're starting to uptick him into actually doing a complete start. When is that going to happen? I don't know. I know they love to have his bat in there for a lot of key reasons, which I understand that completely. Liberatore, you like Shark, like you said, like he's a coin flip. His lines are always between plus 140, plus 160. It seems like in a lot of the cases, especially on the road, he's a pitcher that you're taking a risk when you're backing him as well. I'd say the one consistency that you can grab out of this, and I told Shark prior to the show, the Dodgers cannot figure out the NL Central teams. And it is just not just the St. Louis Cardinals. It is the Cincinnati Reds. It is the Pittsburgh Pirates. It is Milwaukee Brewers. Everybody seems to be able to get one on the Dodgers. And I haven't figured that out. I think they're 1-14 in their last 15 versus the NL Central. So take note of that. And then you don't know who the next pitcher is going to be. Is it going to be Robleski? I would assume that's going to be. He hasn't pitched in a while. I think he's probably going to come after Ohtani. So you're taking a risk with him. It's tough. This game, I every time Ohtani starts, I'm just like, well, I guess I can't play that one. But if you want to play the trend, just back an the NL Central team and maybe take St. Louis on the run line and hope for the best.
Yeah, I mean, just one point on Liberatore. He's in his second consecutive road start here. He did start on Friday at San Diego. He has lost 3 consecutive starts. At no point this season has he lost 4 consecutive starts. He did lose 3 in a row from Friday, May 30th through Wednesday, June 11th. Then he followed that up with a demolition road win at the White Sox. Of course, the White Sox and the Dodgers are nothing alike in this season, but I do think plus 1.5 could be live here. Best look in the game, I think, for us here as a free play, take plus 1.5 and let's cash. Keeping it moving here, 4:40 p.m. in Miami, Jansen Junk, Marlins, Spencer Arrighetti, Astros, getaway game here, interleague. Interesting time. I'm not really sure why this game is being played at 4:40 in the afternoon. This is East time. This is not a Pacific game. It makes absolutely no sense. It certainly is not helping the teams get away early, really, either, because by the time this game is over, it's going to be 8 o'clock plus. They're going to the airport in Miami at 9 o'clock, International Airport. I really don't understand that. I do think the line does give us some access here. When you see Jansen Junk, who's obviously been a journeyman, Gunz alerted us in the last show that he was a relief pitcher for the Brewers. Shout out to the Gunz memory bank there. But I do think this is a noteworthy line. Nobody would have ever had Jansen Junk and the Marlins laying to the Astros 2 months ago. Gunz, the line has to tell us something, right?
It does, because this is the first time that Jansen Junk's been minus money all season long, and he's won every start but one. I think he is 7-1 in his starts this year. Every time he's hit the bump, he's just been an absolute backable pitcher. He's 4-3 in first 5s, and he has gotten shelled, especially in his last 2 home starts. He gave up 6 runs to Kansas City, 6 runs to the New York Yankees. That is a little bit concerning, but for somehow, some way, this Marlins team has magic under them. They have the bats. They have the gusto. This is a young, youthful, vibrant team that is just able to pick up, even if they're down 4 to 6 runs in the 8th, they're able to kind of pull themselves out of the bootstraps and figure out how to get the wins. And maybe that's why Jansen Junk is getting that luck. However, I'm not seeing the line go the other direction. When you want to see a Jansen Junk fade line, if there is one, you want to see it go up to plus 140, plus 150, or you want it to go higher. However, the line is dead nuts even. It's a coin flip, minus 108, but I think it's a stronger line here for the Marlins than it is for the Houston Astros. And if we do officially know what the pitching matchup is, and I think you said it was Arrighetti or something like that, right? I trust Junk over Arrighetti all day long. If I was going to take this one, I'm taking Marlins money line, and hopefully we cash the ticket.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't disagree. And Arrighetti's been on the injured list for at least 2 months with a thumb injury. You talk about a type of injuries you don't really want to back coming off the injured list. A thumb injury, I mean, that's a grip on the ball. That's how you spin the ball. I mean, this guy, he could be totally all over the place, and he's a very young pitcher. last season, he was not very good on the road. I mean, he's only 25 years old. He's not imposing at all. He's a smaller pitcher, only 186 pounds listed. So he needs something, and he needs that spin. And if his thumb has an issue, he's not going to have his spin. He hasn't pitched since April 5th, actually. I just looked it up, at Minnesota. Only road start of the year outside of the division. He was terrible. 6-1 loss, 3 2/3 innings pitched, 5 earned runs. Again, take note of the line. The Marlins laying to the Astros is just one of those book lines that we love. I think we're probably going to get to the Marlins with some officiality in the afternoon. Looking at the Marlins with significance, let's dominate. Night card, not great. 5 quick games here. Athletics Nationals. As we're recording this particular game, the Athletics are absolutely throttling Mackenzie Gore and the Nats. I think this probably leans towards the A's yet again. I think the Nats are just in complete disarray. I think they're going to fire their manager, and there's a lot of moving parts in the offseason. The A's obviously in Sacramento, going to Vegas, much more upside here. Jeffrey Springs on the road. Gunz, I think A's or nothing.
A's or nothing. See, they're going to go bullpen game on this one. They're plus 110, and they're just not a backable team right now. I think this Washington team is just absolutely given up. Where it seems like the Athletics, they got something to prove. That team's just got something to prove. That I mean, these young teams with these kids, these minor league kids, probably up in their first year, second year, third year with the team. They got some youthful, jovial notion, and even the pitchers, man, they just show up for them. Even though it's Springs, Springs isn't the greatest pitcher in the world. I'm not going to trust the Nats in any way, shape, or form, even if they're playing at home.
No, I completely agree. And obviously, just talking about the lines yet again, if you had told me 4 months ago that the Athletics would be a favorite on the road, minus 130 against anybody,
even the Colorado Rockies, maybe.
Yeah, anybody. And I mean, as you said, you've seen this team. They have upside. They're only 16 games under 500, 49 and 65. And I think interestingly enough for this particular conversation, they're actually only 5 under on the road. They're actually a good road team. So it's actually maybe speaking to the fact that they're actually better than being 16 games under 500. They just underperform in the minor league park in Sacramento. They get to major league stadiums with real energy. They perform well. So I think we're talking ourselves into this. Free play for you guys as we roll through this. Definitely an A's spot here. And keeping it moving. 7:10 in Boston. Royals, Red Sox. Waka at Dustin May. The continued carousel of players from Dodgers to Boston. Dustin May making his first start for the Red Sox. Gunz had the hat on before, so he could throw a little shade at the Yankees. Now he's got it on potentially as a buy hat. I don't know about this one, though. Dustin May has been sketchy as hell all year. First start in Boston. Kind of could go either direction. Gunz, any thoughts?
I think you just trust the trend with Boston. I think Boston is one. I don't have the numbers in front of me. I want to say they're like 24-4 in their last 28 home games or something like that. Is absolutely absurd. And I think they're like 9-1 to the run line too. So they're not just winning these games. They're winning by margin in a lot of these cases. And then you got I'm looking at Walker's numbers right now, 2-5 in his last 7 starts on the road. He's 2-5 on the road too. Not a lot of wins on this one. He's coming off a win against Toronto on the road. It's tough because with Dustin May, you don't really have a lot of data on him either, right? He just came over from the Dodgers, and he was kind of wishy-washy when he was with the Dodgers too. But maybe a new park will kind of rejuvenate, maybe make him a little bit more dominant. Who knows? It kind of worked for Walker Buehler, kind of worked for Giolito. So maybe it works for him. Maybe they know something that we do not know. We'll see how it goes. This Boston team has just been exceptional. Even after the All-Star break, which I thought they'd have a big fall off after their those 3 series they had to go against with those juggernauts of all juggernauts of the National League and the Cubs and the Phillies and the Dodgers. They got through that virtually unscathed, and now they're just kind of cooking along, man. I don't know. I'm not going to back the opposite side of the Red Sox at home anytime soon, so it's Red Sox or pass for me.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't disagree. I think the number certainly indicates that. It's a pretty strong number here, minus 150. And as you mentioned, Walker Buehler was, in disarray with the Dodgers. He came over here, and he did struggle on the road early season, but he's been good at Fenway Park pretty much since the day he stepped foot into the home clubhouse. You have to imagine there's going to be a conversation between ex-teammates Bueller and May. Bueller telling May, listen, like this park, I figured it out. This is what you do. This is where the ball goes down the line here. Keep it out of this alleyway. This is how the mound plays in terms of, moisture and just the way that they prepare the mound. Local knowledge. I mean, we're sitting here talking about baseball. A lot of similarities between baseball and golf. It's, it's feel, it's grass, it's dirt, it's sight lines, it's angles. It is real. I think Bueller is going to help May make the transition. I could see him pitching well here. Obviously, the guy was supposed to be an ace. Yet another young pitcher with early career arm injuries just setting him back. Really astounding stuff. How many really talented young pitchers under 27 needing reconstructive arm surgery. Looking towards Boston in this one, a lot of good conversation and keeping it moving. Next game on the card, national game, 7:15 in Atlanta, Fox Sports 1, Braves Brewers. Spencer Strider hosting Jose Quintana. Brewers currently just looking like a train that is not stopping. Braves, you cannot say anything of that sort. This team is absolutely a sell team. They were projected to have the number 2 record in the entire league. Injuries everywhere. Morale is shot. Interesting to see Atlanta laying here, but it is Spencer Strider. He's laying a huge figure at home every time. I would actually venture to say that -140 is short for him at home. I could see the Brewers scrapping another win. Gunz, any thoughts?
Yeah, trust Quintana on the road. That's all you can do. Even though he's been a dog in a lot of those situations on the road, and you think it's a good fade spot to be taking the Milwaukee Brewers, he's just got it done. I mean, he's been an exceptional pitcher for years, and I don't know why he's getting undervalued in this game. I mean, he's 7-2 straight up on the road this season, and a lot of those conditions were as a dog. I think there was only 3 conditions where he had minus money, and he was getting the job done and getting the wins, and he's pitching well. He's only given up 4 runs in 1 start. Out of all those 8, and everything else is anywhere between 0 and 2 runs. So if you're looking at the first 5 inning angle, that's probably another way I'd go with that as well. Strider, not good in first 5s. I think he was on a consistently trailing in first 5s in like 7 or 8 consistent starts. And I think he just had one where he had the lead last week or in his last start. So the only way I take this is the Brewers, just back Quintana on the road and you'll cash tickets.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I'm looking at just even Quintana, obviously very good on the road all year. Honestly, his only road losses this year came in the division, out of the division at Tampa Bay. He pitched very well. And another one at the Mets, another 1-run loss. So 2 1-run losses on the road, but he's functioned well outside of the division within the National League. Outright wins at San Francisco, Arizona, Philadelphia, and most recently the Dodgers. I mean, he beat the Dodgers on a Sunday, July 20th. It looks like when you're looking at flat records, something we haven't really talked about in this version of MLB Player Performance, but a lot of people handicap on flat records. They say, okay, this is the best team in the league. They're an underdog. That means that the Braves are strong here. You have to zoom out and see this is actually a downgraded line historically for Strider, and Quintana functions well here. Always in sports betting, you need to know when to zoom in and zoom out. It's one of the most important things in terms of sports handicapping. So a little local knowledge there in terms of how to cap. I can see the Brewers getting there, and we'll keep it moving. Next game on the card, only 2 more here. Next game in Seattle, George Kirby hosting Jonathan Cannon. Also a national game. Interesting. I think they're trying to showcase the upstart White Sox. Maybe not. This is a Seattle team that has a really elite pitching staff. George Kirby is one of 4 extremely talented pitchers on this staff. That's why the line is -250. It's a blowout line. Kirby, his entire young career, has been great in the Pacific Northwest. A bit of a rhetorical game, as we always say. These games are just blowouts. Gunz, it's probably a margin spot for the Mariners.
Should be, yeah. The one thing that I'll say is when Cannon's been on the mound, he is 5-1 straight up and 5-1 to the run line in his last 6 starts, and that is a mixture of away versus road. Cleveland, Colorado, Pittsburgh, Tampa, and Philly are in that sample size. The one loss was, of course, to Philly. If you think that Seattle is a strong team, and they are a strong team, I would probably lean towards the Seattle side on this one. It seems like, that sample size right there, there's a lot of like lackluster, mediocre teams that are really going to be playoff caliber, other than the Phillies. Like I said, they lost to the Phillies on the run line and on the money line as well. So I would lean towards the Seattle side. I don't like the juice on this one. I wouldn't take the money line. If you're going to take it, take it on the run line by margin. Tough spot. Maybe Cannon gets it done in the first 5, but they won't get it done for the game.
Yeah, again, it's just tough, and it's just baseball. Sometimes the money line is just kind of out of the picture from a price point. Whereas, like in another sport, it would just be a spread. Seattle would be laying 11.5 points in basketball here. Then you could actually bet it on a 110 line against the spread. There's no real spread in baseball. You either lay a ton and win, or you take an underdog that loses in some of these spots. No middle ground. Stay away from this game, and we'll keep it moving. Last game on the card, divisional baseball, 9:40 Chase Field in Phoenix, Arizona. Diamondbacks Padres closing this series. Talk about moving parts. Trade deadline. All of a sudden, Nestor Cortez is starting for the Padres. This guy was with the Yankees last year. Then the Brewers, very limited. Now with the Padres, terrible ERA, 9.0. Extremely limited sample, been injured most of the year. Arizona pitcher Anthony DeSclafani, he's been coming out of the bullpen. He's moved around, Giants, Reds. He's all over the place too. I mean, Gunz, some of these games, particularly around the trade deadline, it's almost like exhibition season, spring training. We have no idea what these guys are going to do. Blind toss, in my opinion.
Yeah, blind toss. Seems like they've gone to the bullpens on both sides on this one. Maybe there's like a first 5 over in that one, because you look at DeSclafani. He gave up 4 runs versus KC, and he gave up 5 runs versus Oakland in a home road split on that one. So I think there's probably some look at the total here. I wouldn't look towards the heavy side on the full game total, because maybe they get enough runs in, and then both teams kind of coast towards the end. I noticed even with them I can't even say his name, DeSclafani. If he gave up 4 runs and 5 runs. However, the under hit in both of those. And if you hit him in the first 5 and you don't get the over on that one, maybe there's something suspect on that one. But I'd probably lean towards the first 5 in that game if I was going to play it. Not saying I am. I hate bullpen games, and this is a perfect example of why you should never bet a bullpen game. But if I'd lean one way or the other, first 5 over, that's it.
Yeah, as I said, it reminds me of an exhibition game, spring training game. There's just such an unknown to this game. So closing the card, we really have nothing in this one. We don't want to lead you guys in any direction when there is no direction. Stay off this game. And we do have, fortunately, best bets on this Wednesday. Wednesdays are for winning the Shark and the Gun. Gunz picks, best bets.
I'm going to go 2 totals on the best bet. I'm going to go with the Cincinnati Chicago Cubs under 8. I think that's going to be a good little pitcher's duel for a matinee. And I'm going to go with the over in the Toronto, Colorado game, over 11.5. I think Gosman will give up runs. Freeland does give up runs as well, but the team does support him with the runs as well. So I think there's going to be a high-scoring affair in Coors Field. Over 11.5, and, of course, the under in Chicago, under 8.
Yeah, I got 2 plays. I got the hat on. I did it last week, and we won. We'll do it again. The buy hat is engaged. Take the Orioles, getting a great price, plus 140 to avoid the sweep, and jumping on it with the gun under Reds Cubs at 8. That's 48 fast minutes, 15 games on this Wednesday. Gunz, give them some words, and I'll close it out.
Yeah, appreciate everybody that's watching this video now or later. Please like and subscribe to the channel, the J Cavalier channel. Hit the thumbs up and get to the comment section and drive up the algorithm of all algorithms YouTube deems fit. We want to grow all these shows to the moon, including all the shows on the J Cavalier channel, whether it involves the Shark of the Gun, whether it doesn't involve the Shark of the Gun. It could involve the coach, it could involve the prop master, it could involve J Cavalier himself. We just want you to support and like the videos. And also go check us out on Telegram. Why Lose Shark? Why Lose Guns? We're giving out special deals left and right. We have college football that's going to be coming up right around the corner. And, of course, the NFL as well. Special deals. Get on their VIP packages, and we will cash you tickets all the way through the fall. That's all I got to say, Shark.
Absolutely. And as I always give a shout out to the live chat, we see you guys on Wednesday morning. We wish we were live with you guys. We will be back on Saturday morning for the full live show at 11 a.m. Almost 50 minutes. conversation, hype, analysis, and top MLB picks. For J.A. Cavalier cashing tickets around the world, the prop master Luke Shuey and Coach Rick. He's the gun, I'm the shark. Stay strong, stay fast, stay disciplined, and let's dominate.
Cut my life into pieces. This is my last resort. Suffocation, no breathing. Don't give a fuck if I cut my